Before you buy Dr. V's InZincable Invisible Mineral Sunscreen, you need to watch this video. Keep watching. Welcome back to the Style and Beauty Doctor here on YouTube. My name is Danielle, and I actually have not been on this channel for a minute. Did anybody here miss me? Oh. Well, it's unfortunate. Wow. Anyway, I needed to take a little bit of time off in August. I needed a break. I went to Jamaica. I turned 40. Like, a lot went on in August. I was chilling. There's some videos coming up, including a vacation skincare video, as well as a vlog on what I did for the big 4-0. So make sure you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss it. But let's get into this sunscreen. Now, if you are unaware of who Dr. V is, full name, Dr. Vanita Rattan. She has a YouTube channel here, which I suggest you check out to, get yourself more acclimated with the woman behind this product. She is a doctor and a cosmetic formulator based in the UK. And again, for more info, make sure you check out her channel. So anyway, this is something that you're gonna be buying from the UK. Obviously, Dr. V is based in the UK. So for me, someone who lives in America, I paid about $35.37 US. However, shipping for me at the time was $21.23, which means that this sunscreen I paid a whopping $56.60 for. Now, shipping overseas can be pretty expensive. I'm gonna hope that maybe one day there's something that can be done where the shipping can be more of like a smaller flat fee. I don't know that part of the business, but $21.23 for shipping was a little like, not for me because, I could write that off because, just what I do. But for you, if you're trying to buy this sunscreen, $21.23 is a lot of money to pay for shipping. It's almost the same price as the sunscreen. However, that's one of very few things that I found to be a little about this mineral sunscreen. Now, this is an SPF 50. It says it has a high UVA/UVB protection. Now, in the US, we are not required to display the UVA protection in the sunscreen. Some brands do. You'll see that denoted in their PA rating, but it's not required in the US, so it's hard to compare, the UVA protection with this with an American mineral sunscreen because a lot of them are just not required, okay? You're also gonna get some blue light protection with this sunscreen, which is great because we know blue light can worsen pigmentation. There is a whole video here on this channel on that, so make sure you check that out for the tea. Other notable ingredients, and of course, I'm gonna link this below so you can check out the full ingredient list. So if you are someone who, you have to stay away from certain ingredients, you make sure you go through it before you go on ahead and buy it. But this also contains niacinamide and vitamin E. Niacinamide, we know, is a great ingredient that does so many things for the skin, and vitamin E is a great antioxidant. Now, some other things to note about this sunscreen. It uses nano zinc, which means that the zinc particles are micronized, which means that they're made smaller, so they're not as noticeable and detected on the skin, which is great if you have a deeper skin tone. Now, here's the thing. There are these brands that, tout non-nano zinc, which means that, just big old zinc. Well, here's the thing between nano and non-nano. There's no measuring guide. There's no standardized measuring to say that what's nano and what's non-nano. So that's number one. But you do have a lot of brands out there that tote non-nano zinc, and there's a lot of misconceptions and fear mongering around the particles. From what I have gathered from some reliable sources, is that there's no evidence that, nano particles are getting into the skin, into the bloodstream and causing damage. But some people are like, no, I don't want to take any chances. I want non-nano. And sometimes when you have the non-nano, you got the big old white cast on your face. It has a satin finish. That's not particularly my favorite finish for any type of moisturizer or sunscreen. It is going to look a little shiny if you have oily skin. However, I do think that if you kind of lightly powder your skin, you can do that with a mineral powder sunscreen, like Supergoop has one. Peter Thomas Roth has one, but I've been noticing that it's been out of stock and I have no clue whether or not they discontinued it. But you know, you could use something like that if you want, you know, a little bit of extra protection and you find that the sunscreen is a little bit too shiny for your skin. But it does have a satin finish. Not my favorite finish, but you know, if you have dry skin or if you have oily skin and you don't mind that look, you know, that's cool too. Also, there's no weird sunscreen smell to this. You know how some mineral sunscreens can have that like Elmer's glue, like chalky kind of like ugh, stinky kind of smell. Thankfully this doesn't have like that really weird sunscreen smell, you know? It also claims no white cast for skin of color, and for my beautifully chocolate complexion I found that to be true. Now here's the thing, right? Because I've been doing a lot of these mineral sunscreen reviews and trying a lot of mineral sunscreens over the last almost 2 years now, right? And I've kind of picked up on a couple of things that some people might be doing with their sunscreens, why you might be getting a cast, whereas I say like, I'm not getting a cast. One, make sure your skin is dry before you put on your mineral sunscreen, right? Zinc oxide and titanium dioxide, the two mineral UV filters that are used in American mineral sunscreens, those are white pigments. And if your skin is a little damp, maybe wet, it might be hard for that pigment to actually like kind of glide and blend into your skin. It might make it more apparent if your skin is wet. So keep that in mind. So what you use before you put on your sunscreen might affect how your cast shows up or doesn't show up. Another thing, you want to make sure that you are putting on enough sunscreen. It's very easy to be like, okay, no white cast. You need to put on enough. Now, enough sunscreen is different for each person because our faces and our bodies take up different amounts of space. But the equation is 2 milligrams of sunscreen per centimeter square of face, which for some people can add up to 2 finger lengths, 3 finger lengths, a quarter teaspoon, about that amount, right? But that is for your face, neck, and ears, right? So you're not putting that amount just on your face, you know, you're doing it on your face, neck, and ears, right? Also, when you're putting on a mineral sunscreen, apply it in sheer layers, because if you take a big glop of mineral sunscreen and then you try to blend it in like you would a moisturizer, it's not going to happen for you. It's going to look funny. Do it in sheer layers until you have the adequate amount on your face. Now, in terms of where I found that this, although I did not love the shiny finish for my oily skin, it still wore very nicely throughout the day. I could even wear it underneath makeup without feeling like my makeup was going to get like, you know, it was going to look oily before its time and just looking like a greasy mess. So I was really impressed with the wear of the sunscreen as well. It says that you can apply it over your makeup. Like when you want to reapply your sunscreen, you can reapply with this over it. Now I tried that, right? And that's not for me because the finish is so shiny on me. Putting that on over my makeup made me look shiny-er. And it kind of like interfered with my makeup. I don't want that, right? There are people out there that do like to apply like a lotion or a liquid sunscreen over makeup. I'm not one of those people. I like to use either a mineral sunscreen powder, the Supergoop one. I like the Peter Thomas Roth one. I don't know if it's still in production or not or what have you. But I also like to use sunscreen makeup mists, right? Not every sunscreen that comes in a spray can be reapplied over your makeup. Keep that in mind. But the ones that you actually can. Supergoop makes one as well that you can spray over your makeup to reapply your sunscreen. But my primary form of reapplying sunscreen over makeup is definitely a mineral powder sunscreen, right? You might be able to get away with applying this over your makeup. Not I. Now the $35 price tag, right? I don't think that she set out for this to be an affordable sunscreen, right? Looking at the packaging, it's a pretty packaging, the way that the product feels, the way that the product looks on the skin, I don't think that this was meant to be an affordable sunscreen. I think it was something more leaning towards luxury. And that's the type of price point that you're gonna pay for something like this. You are getting 50 ml, which is about 1.69 fluid ounces of product. And that $35, it's right in there with like the Supergoops and the Shiseidos and, you know, this type of sunscreens that you normally find at like Sephora or like the expensive side of Ulta. Now, it's not gonna be for everybody, of course. If you are someone who does not have particularly sensitive skin and you're not specifically looking for a mineral sunscreen, make sure you check out my sunscreen for darker skin playlist. I go through a bunch of sunscreens. If you are someone where you're like, I need a mineral sunscreen, but I ain't trying to pay that much, go ahead and look at my mineral sunscreen for darker skin playlist. There are a few videos where I try out some less expensive mineral sunscreens. It's not, some of the best ones that I've tried do tend to be at least 20 bucks. So just keep that in mind. Speaking of the best ones that I've tried, make sure you check out the description box. There will be a link to a blog post that I update regularly each time I do one of these videos, and I put the best ones that I've tried, so you can take a look at that. It'll be linked in the description. Other than the price of the shipping and the fact that it might take a little while. Shipping said that it would take 2 to 4 weeks. I believe I got it quicker than that, maybe a week and a half I might have gotten it, but it is coming from overseas. That $21 shipping fee is a lot. I'm hoping that at some point maybe there's gonna be some sort of discount. But other than that, if like the shipping is something that, and for a lot of people that shipping can be quite a barrier. If you're looking for something similar that doesn't give a white cast, and you can buy it here and don't have to pay so much for shipping, definitely check out that blog post of the best mineral sunscreens I've tried so far, linked in the description box. But other than that, I would have to say I am impressed with this mineral sunscreen. If you have oily skin, you might want to maybe layer a little powder on top of it if you don't like that shiny look. If you have dry skin during certain times of the year, you might want to wear a moisturizer underneath it, although it does feel like it might be moisturizing enough on its own. But there's so many factors that go into the climate and what's going on in your side of the world. Leave me a comment below. Have you tried Dr. V's mineral sunscreen yet? Would you try it? Let me know in the comments. Follow me on social, and I will see you fine folks in my next video. Bye, guys.